So today we got a new-ish trailer for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This trailer has a lot of scenes from previous trailers, but a bunch of new ones as well. And really today, this is not the only thing we are going to talk about. There is a lot we actually have to look at today. Some leaks that we didn't cover yesterday. And there's some scenes in this trailer that a lot of people, I think, missed a couple of things that we haven't seen before. So I wanted to point those out as well, because there's a couple weapons, a couple lines that Captain Price says, and just a couple of little details throughout this trailer that I think are definitely worth looking at. But on top of that, we also have leaks as to what is going to be coming to the game after launch. This includes certain maps that we are going to see remade in this game, and on top of that, a bunch of game modes that are apparently coming post-launch after a couple of updates or a couple of weeks of the game being out, which I think is extremely interesting as well. So the point I'm getting at is we have a lot to get into, so let's dive into it. So the very first thing that we saw in the trailer that I thought was interesting is as the helicopters fly in here, they go over top of a really dark facility. And part of me wonders whether or not this facility that they're flying over is Karest River Quarry, the 32v32 beta map, but a night version of it. It's really hard to tell. It could be something in the campaign, or it could be a night version of the Quarry Ground War map. Not really sure at this point, just thought I would point it out. Now through this next section, there is a lot of reused clips from other trailers, but the next thing that I wanted to look at is what Captain Price says right here.
What's the plan? Shock and awe.
Now, if you didn't play the older Call of Duty games, you won't know this, but Shock and Awe is one of the most iconic missions ever in a Call of Duty game. It is the mission in Call of Duty 4 where Imran Zakhaev and Makarov decide to set off a nuke in their own country to kill 30,000 American soldiers. So that little line in the trailer is absolutely a reference to that. So you could actually take this a lot of ways. One way is that maybe Captain Price is going to go the shock and awe route and drop some nukes, or maybe they already got nukes dropped on them. I don't know, but your conspiracy theories can go wild just with this one little statement. Moving on to the next thing we have in the trailer, this is actually a new vehicle. So we see it here. It looks like kind of like an all-terrain dune buggy kind of thing. I'm guessing that this is going to be in some of the ground war maps. The next thing was only in the trailer for a brief second, but it's actually a new weapon. As Kyle Garrick jumps over the wall here, you can see him holding some sort of grenade launcher. This was not in the beta. We haven't seen it before, but as we can clearly tell by this, it is in the game and it'll probably be in multiplayer as well. And then as far as the rest of the trailer goes, there's really not much new there. You get to see some multiplayer gameplay of some different kill streaks, and then you get to see Captain Price without his bucket hat on at the very end, which you very, very rarely see. So that's pretty much it for the trailer. There really wasn't that much new in the trailer, as I said from the very beginning, and honestly that's not what the majority of this video is about. As you can tell from the title, it's about some leaks, some more leaks that we got once again from the Gaming Revolution. So the Gaming Revolution is a guy who somehow has someone inside Infinity Ward or QA testing, and he gets a whole bunch of inside information and leaks it out to everyone, as we've seen. Now today's things that we're going to be talking about are specifically post-launch things, so game modes and maps that are going to be coming shortly after the game is actually launched. The thing you have to remember with Modern Warfare is the fact that Modern Warfare does not have a season pass, which means all the maps, all the game modes, anything post-launch that's not microtransactions, everyone gets for free. So that means everyone gets their hands on everything that we talked about today. So I thought the first thing that we would talk about is the actual maps themselves. So he talked about 4 remake maps that are going to be coming after launch. These maps include Shipment, Terminal, Rust, which we've already talked about in a previous video, and a new version of Wet Work where it's not on top of the ship, but rather inside of the ship. So it's not really a remake, kind of like a reimagining with the same location. So that one we can't really talk too much about simply because we don't know it. Now, Rust we have already talked about in the past. It's going to be a remake map similar to what we've seen before. I'm not sure whether or not it's a 6v6 map or a gunfight 2v2 map at this point. We don't really know. And then of course there's Terminal. I'm guessing this is going to be a 6v6 map. Nothing too special about that one. We know it from many previous Call of Duty games. It was even in Infinite Warfare. So we definitely know that map really well. And then Shipment. This is the interesting one because apparently Shipment is not going to be called Shipment, which is interesting because they're now calling it Cargo. And apparently the reasoning for this is that they're actually making Shipment slightly bigger, adding more spawns and a larger area, probably so that 6v6 can more easily be played on it. But the Gaming Revolution also said that this is predominantly going to be a 2v2 map. So the two things kind of contradict each other. But at this point, we just know Shipment sounds like it's going to be coming as Cargo, which is going to be its new name. So moving into the next thing we have here, we have game modes. And as far as game modes go, at launch, there's going to be your typical game modes, your free-for-all, your team deathmatch, your search and destroy. We know that cyber attack is going to be in there. We know that headquarters is going to be in there. Just your stereotypical game modes. But, of course, as always, with every Call of Duty game, after launch, they add in a bunch of different game modes. And as of right now, they have a bunch of different ones planned that the Gaming Revolution has found out about. So I thought we would go through all of these game modes and talk about what ones will be added, and some of them that I have some big questions about. Starting off with the first one, Search and Rescue. He says beside it that this one might be removed. Now, the thing with Search and Rescue is it's almost identical to Cyber Attack, so I don't really see them adding that one in. After that, we move into some party games, One in the Chamber and Infected. Now, One in the Chamber and Infected are actually predominantly Black Ops game modes. Of course, they have been in Infinity Ward games as well, but these are two game modes I am not surprised at all that will be coming to the game. The next one to me is the most interesting one, and that is Hardpoint. The fact that I say that this one is so interesting is because this is like a staple game mode in Call of Duty. They use it in competitive Call of Duty, and the fact that it actually might not be there at launch is incredibly strange. So whether it's going to be there at launch or not, I don't know, but apparently it will be coming to the game. After this, we have Drop Zone. This is like an Infinity Ward classic. If you don't know what this is, it's kind of like Hardpoint, but when you get inside the Hardpoint, it actually drops care packages down on you. You can pick them up and get the kill streaks that are inside. It's an incredibly fun game mode, more of like a party game mode than a competitive game mode, but still definitely interesting. After this, we've got a cool game mode that was in Infinite Warfare called Defender. Defender is a game mode kind of like Oddball from Halo, where there's a ball in the middle of the map and your team gets score by controlling that ball. So you try to defend the person who has it and you get points for the longer that it's there. After this, we have Demolition. This is another Infinity Ward classic. Basically, one team is attacking and one team is defending. There are two bomb sites, and the team that's attacking, their job is to plant the bombs and have them blow up. The team that's defending, their job is to defend the bomb sites, obviously. And this is a respawn game mode, and it's kind of like a mix between domination and search and destroy, if you will. After this, we have Invasion, which I have no idea what Invasion is. I don't think it's been in a Call of Duty game before, and in his notes, he said that it might be removed. So, like I said, literally no idea what that's all about. After that, we have Gun Game. This is a fan favorite. I would be shocked if it didn't come to the game. After this, we have Reinforce, and Reinforce is an interesting one because Reinforce was in Ghost and Infinite Warfare, and basically it's a mix between domination and search and destroy. Everyone has one life, but there are 3 flags on the map. If one of your teammates captures one of the flags, everyone on your team respawns. The basic way to win the game is to capture all 3 flags, and then the round is over. It wasn't the most popular game mode in the world, but it appears as though it's going to be returning. And then finally, the last game mode is called Team Juggernaut, and this was in, I believe, Modern Warfare 3 as a custom game, and there was 2 different ways that it worked. One way was that it was everyone in the lobby against one person, and that one person had a Juggernaut suit. The second way that it worked was just team deathmatch and everyone had a Juggernaut suit. So I'm not exactly sure which one they would be implementing, but it appears as though that's going to be coming as a featured playlist eventually as well. So I think for the most part, this is really great news. The fact that they already have post-launch content planned that's not going to cost any money, everyone's going to get it, it's just going to extend the longevity of the game, is fantastic. Now, on top of that, the Gaming Revolution has also tweeted saying that based off of everything that he's heard, it sounds like that every week to 2 weeks, they have planned an update, whether that just be a featured playlist update or maps or weapons coming out. They have a lot planned so that they can update the game super frequently to keep people playing the game, and that is really good to hear. That was kind of one of my complaints with Black Ops 4 early on, is yes, after Christmas they had updates almost every week, but before Christmas there was not a lot added into the game whatsoever. There was eventual weapon updates, but really the majority of that didn't happen until after Christmas, and at that point people have already dropped off the game. So I think this is really good news. I'm really happy to hear that they have a lot planned for updates. But that is all that we have today. We got a bunch of maps. We got a new trailer. On top of that, we got some new game modes. So I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Also, if you're new to the channel and want to stay up to date on everything Modern Warfare, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn notifications on. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, it is always appreciated if you hit that like button. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace out.
Listen.